It's your boy Crack back at it one time, live in Clutch City, and I have a major interview with a former veteran, former from the Army, this and that. And the reason I say this and that is because I'm going to let him say what he's got to say. And I got to just tell him your name and go from there.
Just Jason.
His name's Jason, and he is from around here. And I'm just going to ask him how he grew up and go from there. You grew up here?
Yes, I went to Ross Point. I went to Loyal, and I graduated at James A. Kaywood High School at the time, back in '97.
97. I was class 2000, so I was a freshman that year. I was a freshman that year.
Okay,
Did you play football?
Yes, sir.
I knew I remember
Only
you.
for a year. I didn't.
Well, I
play,
remember your name
didn't
from
have the honor
somewhere.
of playing all 4 years. They had a good team and coach.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up here, then you can confirm this. When people had trouble, we used this. Okay?
Yes, sir, we did. We'll fight.
Right. Well, that's not what's going on around here no more. It's not done anymore like it should be, I think.
Right. No, it's not. People want to call the loud. People want to go get warrants, setups. They'll set you up and kill you around here real quick.
As my stepmother used to say, if you can't kill them, set them up.
You heard that, didn't you? So it takes 2 minutes for notifications to go out. 30 in. It's Crack 40 TV. Y'all come on in. I have a guy here that's going to expose and bust some shit bags. He's got legit receipts. If anybody has legit receipts, well, fuck it. I'm about it to expose the shit. It's Crack 40 TV, and that's what we do. This guy's got a lot to talk about. I just keep getting interrupted with phone calls. Y'all are coming on in. Come on in. We'll give them about a minute, and we'll get rid of it. What's up, Natures? Message Amber Maggard for me and tell her that I cannot talk and you're my manager, or Logan Maggard, and see what the fuck they want and tell them I'm doing this interview, and then I'll get right with them. So it's Crack 40 TV. I'm sitting here with Jason from Harlan. What's up, D? You can't stay up all night. Well, listen, I've got some exposing to do right here. What's up, Ray Jones? We got Ray in the house. I got a veteran with me. U.S. Army veteran? Army?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I was U.S. Army, and I got out, and then I joined the National Guard in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Did half my term out there, came out here, finished it up in the Harlan unit, which I deployed.
So you deployed and went to with John Luttrell and them? Casey Stewart?
I
No.
can't remember. That's the problem. I'm having trouble.
I got you. Did you go like in 03?
No, sir. It was about 2010.
2010? Okay. Can you guys hear all right? So this man right here's got a lot to talk about. Just sit back, whoop your dicks out, jack off, get your pussies wet, rub that old moose knuckle. Don't get your clits caught up in no zippers, and get you a straw, put you some vinegar in it, blow it up your pussy like a blow dart, and clean it out. It's Crack 40 TV. Jason's got some shit to talk about. I'm gonna get back to him. So he's went to the Army. Take off.
Well,
Graduated high school and
honestly, I left. Ended up in Alabama. Did some martial arts for a year straight.
hell yeah.
Great teachers, great instructors. Went to active duty Army. Was in South Korea for a couple of years. It's a 1 year tour, but I loved it over there. So
Right.
I stayed.
Korea, South Korea sounds fun.
Ended up Fort Carson. I was gonna
Fort
be
Carson.
up and stay in longer, but honestly, I wanted to explore America some, to realize what I was defending. And I got out for a while, did that. About 07, went back in. No regrets there. Honestly, my only regrets coming here. And I know it's a bad thing to say, but out of all the places I've lived, all the places I've traveled, all the things I've survived, I never imagined my hometown would be the worst of it.
Right. I mean, there's some fucked up shit that can and is going on around here, definitely.
The thing is, they're reaching out and spreading their, I don't know what the proper word would be, cancer to other parts the thing is, this was not a bad county growing up.
No.
It was not this bad.
Oxy-
The thing is, I'm glad. You look around, there's been some improvements, but it's not grown like it should. And that's because families hold each other back and other people.
Yes.
With their
Yes.
petty bitterness
Yes, definitely.
of anything they could find.
Mm-hmm. Just to show y'all he don't want to be on camera. Y'all have seen it. There's the beauty of Lowell. I'm not going to move my camera, but there's the background. If you ain't seen Appalachia, it's beautiful.
It is. And they have cleaned it up. I will say that. Since
Yeah.
I've been back, since deployment, I came back, you'd see needles on the side of the road. Some of them are from diabetics, but others.
Mainly from users.
And I've never been active on drugs or anything like that. I have smoked weed. It's going to correct saying that.
No, not with
But,
weed. Not with weed.
I'm not even an alcoholic. Like, I enjoy drink every now and then, but it's just not my thing. No medications. Only thing I have is like arthritis and some pains from injuries from service. Nothing that's. I'm fortunate. I am fortunate not to experience what other veterans have.
Amen.
So.
Amen.
Never got to. I'm honestly grateful for this. Never had to pull a trigger. So that's a big plus I've always looked at. But if I had to, I was ready. But a couple years back, since we're here to talk about what happened, Michael North.
Michael North. I know Michael North.
You know
Personally.
I didn't realize he went off the rails. Whether this was his own personal vendetta or he was working with my siblings, which they had their own vendetta, which it's kind of come together over the past 2.5 years. They've been working to set me up any way possible. And the only way I've managed to stay alive is to not react.
I understand that.
2.5 years in South Korea. You can't just go off of anything. Because the thing is, people get the wrong impressions, wrong, they try going about paperwork and stuff to cover it up, which is fine. But the simple fact, these families are committing treason, straight up. You're drugging, you're trying to kill people for information,
That's what she's
I know
telling
there
me.
was a female named Sarah out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm not going to talk about the people in Tulsa. You know their names.
Yeah, I know their names.
But his plan, as soon as I got there, was to have me kill the mother. And she was well off. Her husband had died 8 to 9 months prior to me arriving. We'll call him
Bob.
Bob. Bob was wealthy, from what I learned the time out there before I was being drugged to death. Very intelligent person,
I can
family
tell.
man. Created I don't know the details like I told you, parts of blueprints for oil rig. Well off, they had plenty of land. They had machines, metals, well off. Worth over $1 million.
Easily.
Which is what we're going to get to. That was the whole point of it.
$1 million. Money.
More.
Road of
More
all
than
evil.
that, honestly.
I
I'm not
bet.
kidding. No.
Oil money is
gotta
big
realize, and the reason why I say that is we're here in Kentucky, so it's a Commonwealth, low cost. Out there in Tulsa, higher value, higher cost. 2 properties. Let's not even mention their homes. I'm not even talking about their homes. I'm just talking about the businesses alone. So they were his plan, as it is, was to have me kill Kelly. And since her husband had died months prior, the plan was to have her dead, use her stepdaughter's notary to have everything signed over to her, and then, after a few months, make it look like she committed suicide from the depression of losing both parents within such a short amount of time, and he was going to kill the other son himself.
Buckle up. This is going to be good.
So I decided I'd go after him instead, Michael. And there's police reports out there, Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was trying to mess with my head, which he did. I've learned recently being on drugs.
Michael
from
could,
that.
Michael could have spiked you with methamphetamine or anything.
Spider on your hat.
Oh, Spider on the mayor's hand.
But there are police reports. He was trying to play a little hostage game situation. I wasn't gonna play. I wasn't gonna play. And I let the cops know. I said, "Okay, you want to play hostage? We'll play hostage. Let's see if they want to play." He didn't want to play. So after that, turns out he was putting apparently ketamine in my water. I had 2 cups of water I kept, one for me, one for my cat.
You can't taste ketamine either.
Well, my cat let me know I was being drugged. I didn't realize it. I came home one day and her eyes were straight up flowers.
Shit.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I didn't understand anything that was going on until later on. Because I was too busy trying to keep myself alive. And by the end, I took a bat. I took out a security camera. And I was debating on killing him right there. And he was hiding in the bedroom cabinet with a .22 pistol. And I circled around to the window, looked in, saw he was hiding in there. And I went back around. And I waited. Called a friend I knew, let him know what was going on. And the cops showed up and they asked what happened. I straight told them everything I just told you. Instead of killing him, I took the bat to his truck, knocked out his rearview mirror. Not rearview mirror, correction. Driver's side.
Right.
Mirror. And honestly, I was debating on whether to finish what he started.
I mean, I feel you.
And I ended up leaving. I went to the VA, Veterans Association. They had helped me. I told them everything that I could.
Shout out VA. Shout out
Yeah,
all the veterans.
Oklahoma, VA, thank you. Kentucky, VA.
Salute the veterans. Salute this man.
I ended up getting COVID. They put me in a hotel for 9 days. They had for people that were COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I had not been in contact with certain family members because, well, I'm estranged. They never wanted me around. I gave them what they wanted. And that wasn't enough, obviously. So he had contacted me, came up and got me. And the first thing I did was tell him that they had drugged me and recorded me to say everything I could.
And you'll tell the truth on ketamine blacked out and not even know it.
And he had no concern.
I believe that.
And I didn't notice it. The thing is, where I was so focused on what was going on, I didn't realize they were involved.
Right.
August 1st came. I'm going to skip the small stuff.
And this is what you're...
Uh,
I'm just a year freak. I can tell you everything about every date, what I was doing 10 years ago on the day.
Not me, not now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I understand.
Well, things happened. I was getting back on my feet.
Thank you. Yes, Rodney Taylor.
I was getting back on my feet. I ended up at having court August 1st for the bat getting ready to kill Michael. Proved everything I'm telling you. He didn't show up. I was warned 2 guys were going to come after me. They did. I led them around the city to get them on camera. Led them to a populated spot. They came at me. They got humiliated.
I believe that.
This was in a strip club in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I believe that.
And,
This is a big dude right here.
It didn't work out as they thought. I used to be a bouncer. I'm not a badass anymore. I used to be, and that's what it is. I think they're going off what
I don't
it used to
believe
be.
that.
And anyway, they came at me. They couldn't get past the bouncers. I was like, they're not on my level. My ego's stretching out there. I'm just stretching my ego out. And they know who they are. After that, I informed a family member. He was more concerned about the 2 people I humiliated than me. And I was drugged a few days later. I do smoke weed, like I told you.
Shout out to the marijuana of the world.
I had smoked weed with some neighbors, and I noticed something was going on. You can tell when someone's up to something or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think nothing of it. I thought maybe they're just being paranoid. Well, when I went back to my place, I started drinking my Pepsi and dinner I had. And it kicked in later on. Whatever it was, honestly, like I said, I don't know what it is.
Xylazine, maybe. It's like ketamine.
It's untelling. The thing is, I had messaged some people trying to get help. But the thing is, it was already, whatever the hell it was, I was out of it. All I knew is I was outside all night marching it off, literally. saw an ambulance come during the morning, tried to get their attention. They were clearly on other business, I guess. I'm not blaming them, saying nothing like that. It's just
Right.
they probably just saw me and figured, oh, great. And,
Probably tweaker,
Yeah.
probably on meth. This guy's definitely sober. I'm looking him dead in the eyes.
Yeah.
He's not on no drugs.
and so I can understand why the ambulance went by. Honestly, what was it, Lee County? It was out towards McAllister. The officer saved my life. I'm not even going to, because I couldn't get no one to come
Shout out.
He, I can't remember too much, but I do remember when he put his arm across, he had a tattoo there, and it was something positive. And I don't know what it was, honestly. But he took me to jail, which obvious reasons I'm not going to argue it. Yeah, he was
Right.
right. No clue what was going on. When I got to the jail, they looked at me and they said, "You're drugged." They said my pupils were pinpoints.
They're not now.
And whatever it was lasted days in that prison. The prisoners in there, I don't know what it is all of them were accused of, but I'll tell you what, they helped me. And even the guards, they were listening. They knew I wasn't.
Not crazy, just fucking
Well,
drugs.
no, I look crazy. No, when I got there, I will agree.
Oh, yeah, I
will
got you.
absolutely agree.
I got you.
I would absolutely agree. I looked crazy. I would love to do a shout out to some of the prisoners that were there, because they were. I don't know what they might have done, but they were good and they helped me.
I'll
They
help
helped
you get
me
in contact
recover.
with them.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They helped me. The guards and the prisoners both. And that's the sad part. Within a month there, those guards and prisoners did more for me than those months with my so-called family member.
Shout out to the good COs in the world. Fuck the bad ones.
After a month, I don't want to get the lawyers in trouble. The lawyer that helped me out there,
All right.
he looked into it, figured out. They all knew I was telling the truth because I was there in the prison. They figured it out. That's how they do it, and I learned that. I think that's awesome. They figure out who's really guilty of severe crimes and those who's not. I'm not used to being in the system,
System.
so I'm not gonna try to be like, oh, I know. No,
Right.
I'm fucking a lifter. You want to know what I did? Decade before that, I was a game player.
Really?
That's it.
Really?
They used to
Shout out
think
Larry Hoover.
I did it as a recovery from VA.
A gang?
Video games.
I'm sorry. I thought you said a gang.
No, game.
Like-
Gaming. I apologize.
Got you. Gaming.
I got that accent. Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, we got accent. You don't got an accent like mine, but they say I sound like a warm, sweet peach cobbler. You don't sound like me. And before you go on, Michael Justice, he says show this guy so we know who you're talking to. For obvious reasons, he don't want to be on film.
I've survived multiple attempts in my life and sit-ups.
You understand why?
And it's documented.
He's got
Please
receipts. So I wouldn't do this if I didn't have receipts myself. I went and investigated this when I met this guy about an hour and a half ago. He told me to go investigate something we'll get to shortly. And I went and investigated it. He went and got proof. Here we are. And if anybody else wants to do any sit-down interviews, this is Crack 40 TV journalism mode, not field trips. This is straight interviews today. So back to what he's talking about. Here we go.
Where were we? August. I got out. When I got out of jail, I called for the family member to come get me. He did. He seemed pretty upset I was out. Not the reaction I expected. But what's funny is they do video calls out there.
Mm-hmm.
The prisoners figured out he was in on it before I did.
They're smart.
Yes, they are.
Inmates, a gang of criminals in
They
jail.
figured it
Smart.
out. They
Yes,
figured
sir.
out the first video call. About
Mhm.
the second video call they knew. And I was so focused on thinking it was one group, I didn't realize it was all. Did you, if you don't mind me asking, not trying to pry, you know how siblings or people will try to play a joke on someone, everyone's in it until that's basically what it is.
Right.
And so I got out. So he made sure I understood I was not his family after we got back. When we got back to his place, we got in his garage. He did a little video in his garage, tried to cover his ass. I didn't realize what he was doing at the time. He made sure after the video I understood his biker. He calls it an association. It's a fucking gang. It doesn't matter. It's wordplay.
Right.
You know what? It doesn't, just because something has gang is, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Right.
It's a gang. All right. If you're bikers, you're going around causing trouble. You're a fucking gang. If you want to be called an association like Grand Theft Auto, whatever. That's what it is. But he made sure I understood they were his family, not me. So basically, he had me out there up that time to set me up. I had learned some other things while I was out there, which is not going to go into, not relevant at the time. He was gloating about things I didn't realize, foreshadowing. You know, someone will gloat in front of you and something you don't know what's going on until later on.
Well, not like when I say there's a storm coming. Yeah.
So I ended up leaving. He had my car already packed. How convenient. As I went back to my place, I started to go through my stuff, and I was noticed on the eviction notice. Obvious reasons, couldn't blame them. Oh, by the way, so there's no misleading here. I was arrested for apparently trying to steal a car with people and assault.
Shit.
I haven't.
No recollection. Fucking where they drugged him on ketamine. Telling you.
No, that was in.
Oh, okay.
This is whatever they did. This was something else. Whatever they drugged me with in August 2 years ago, it was something else. The thing is, I had worked with those people, so they knew I wasn't into drugs.
Right.
So the thing is, whatever, everyone's got a price. I ended up leaving. As I was leaving, two police officers coincidentally were following me after I left. Pulled me over. And they started asking about searching my car. I said, yeah. I said, where are you coming from? I just came from my relatives. And they stopped their search. Started talking about what's going on. And I told them I literally just got out. And I said, trying to figure out what to do. I said, I'll tell you what. I looked at one of the officers, east or west. He said, what? East or west? They looked at each other. One of the officers said east. Go east. Safety. You know what? Just tell me, what do you all want me to do? Want me to go east or want me to go west? Or you want to try something else? Turns out there was something in my vehicle that could have set me up on, considering I just came from a relative's place.
Shit.
So yeah, like the stuff Mother used to say, you can't kill them, set them up.
If you can't kill them, set them up. I'm going to take that.
And after that, I ended up in Arkansas for a few days. Got in contact with an old friend. Contacted another. I was out of it, you know. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, so my initial reaction is to go after people responsible, but I knew if I did that, the truth wouldn't be.
Got you.
And time reveals all truths. So I ended up having a buddy to come and get me. Going back to Bowling Green. Turned out someone got to him within a year. And he tried to set him off my PTSD. There was a few incidences that happened, nothing major. But there was a gunman January last year, chased him off. Turned out, I found out months ago this year, it's psychological warfare. It started ever since Oklahoma, all the way back here. Our participants responsible are from Harlan County, Kentucky.
You hear him?
If I was crazy, it would be everyone.
Right, exactly.
But that's the thing. So I sit back. I had to just keep taking the hits. I had to let them keep coming until I can get pieces together. Unfortunately, that's the only way. About this time last year, my PTSD was triggered severely. Roommate at the time got him to work out, start working. He started working out, got himself a little girlfriend, so he got all thinking he could take on anyone. So someone put him up to it. I don't know who it was, but I got some ideas. I'm not going to say until I'm confirmed. Either way, I'm not associated with that person no more. He almost got killed. I was going to kill him straight up. He was barking up the wrong tree. I knocked him down the stairs twice to get it to his head and put my foot And when I say I put my foot in his face, I don't mean I kicked him. I literally put my foot in his face at a distance, so he understood.
That far.
And he decided to stay at the bottom of the stairs after that and realized, and he wanted, go ahead, talk, but you know not to try.
Right.
And that's what he learned. Other people, I pretty much lost all my friends, everyone I knew, because they targeted me. POS, power of suggestion.
Power of suggestion.
After that, Sloss came back here. He was in Middlesboro. I did go up to the police station. I was considering maybe applying for the police. I didn't realize it was coming from here originally. I was thinking it's all coming from Oklahoma.
Right.
And I did. I was considering being a police officer. I considered it. I was like, because honestly, I had friends back then tell me I should consider it because I like helping people. And one thing I've learned in the past few years, police officers that actually help people are the most dangerous. They're the ones being targeted by the bad officers.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it sound so complicated. Member of the unit showed up, did not trust him. Said he was a friend, I don't know who he was. My memory was, you know how fight or flight mode goes?
Yes, sir.
I was in
Absolutely.
fight mode.
Absolutely. I'm a fight. I've been a lot of millions, 155 probably.
Some of the officers, I didn't understand. Like even state police,
Trying to block the wind.
they were following me, like they were on me like white on rice. Excuse me. I couldn't understand why. Then I thought about it. Oh, by the way, I'm skipping ahead.
Cool.
Also, May 22nd last year, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Taco Bell, Nashville Road. Individual, I was door dashing. Turns out Michael North had mentioned this, tracking people and trying to kill people door dashing. I guess that's what it was, because after May 22nd happened.
Damn, Michael North, what the fuck you doing, dude?
After May 22nd happened, the guy said he was an officer. I don't know if he was or not. He came and let me know it was a trap. It was a setup. And like I said, don't know if he's really an officer. Said he was. He identified as one. After that, God, there's been so many setups and stuff happened.
So Michael North, do you know his half brothers that are in prison? Anything
I don't
about
know
them?
nothing
Freddie
about
Marlowe or Anthony Marlowe?
I don't know any of his
Okay.
family except
Okay.
for his mother and him trying to set people up and have people murdered
Okay.
and money.
Gotcha.
So, that being said, excuse me a moment.
Good. Take your time. Thanks, Crack 40 TV, guys. Hit that like, sub, Cash App, Super Chats, PayPals, likes, comments, memberships, subscriptions, Crack 40 TV, Printify.com. We got merch.
Since then, let's see. X told me she was raped by people of the community associated with them. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just going off her word. I know they prostituted one. They made another woman go she disappeared last year in Bowling Green.
Banished.
I don't know what happened to her. Well, that's what it is, and I'm not pursuing because apparently every person I've been talking to has been targeted. That's what I was telling you.
Right. If I'm targeted, I'll have at least 18 to 150 or more or less watching me at all times.
Okay.
And if something crazy happens right now, I bet 5 of them will call the law before the other 20 could.
Well,
Everybody on here would call the law and send them right here where I'm at if something crazy happened. Anywhere in the world, they watch me. My people, they're loyal.
and so relatives I'm staying with lost their place last year because of me after 1 month.
Damn.
Just for being one.
Here in
That was
Harlan?
like, no, this was in Middlesboro.
Oh, okay.
They had some stuff going on up there. Turns out some people from the unit I was with were in on it. They didn't realize this. When they had drugged me, they had learned about the stupid shit they did on deployment. It's humiliating. I'm not going to broadcast it because they already know.
Mm-hmm.
So they were humiliated thinking they were going to try to make me pay. But what they didn't realize is 10-year-old information. The government already knew what fuck-ups they were. And including a commander, I'm not going to name, but he knows where he is, was telling me to hide. I've been out every day. I don't know who the fuck I'm supposed to be hiding from still, but I'm trying to figure that out. And since then, moved up here, moved back here. Day before Thanksgiving, an off state trooper Big, tall, Jethro, tall-looking motherfucker. Pardon my French.
You cuss all you want.
He came by claiming he's checking on things. Said his family member sent him over, and he had used a code, a word, a phrase that I'm known for using, and it's not something normal around here. It probably is now, and so that happened. And then the day of Thanksgiving, I went out to Post 10 because I decided to give some important information. And also, do you remember the fires that happened last year?
Which ones?
It's like, excuse me on the number, don't quote me on this, but I think it was like 8 to 10 fires all at once.
Forest fires or house fires?
House.
Around Thanksgiving of this past one or the year
Last
before?
year.
This past one. I was in London for Thanksgiving.
There were some fires that happened. And
I remember one year Johnny Turner's building burnt down on Thanksgiving during COVID.
Was this about, oh really?
It was during 2020.
He just died.
Yes, rest in peace, Johnny Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because it was live all over Facebook, and I'm really, like I said, I'm good with dates. It was 2020 when that happened, but I wasn't here on Thanksgiving. I was in London last year.
Okay. Well, Thanksgiving came. I made dinner. Only thing I was under the influence on was mashed potatoes, chicken, stuffing, cornbread. Yeah, that's what I was under the influence on. I drove to Post 10 because I was going to make a report because evidence. Things have been coming together over the years. Turns out the officer came by before. He was working for my brother. He was either working for him or manipulated, one way or the other. The simple fact he used a phrase let me know he knew more than he should.
Right.
And was in on something.
Okay.
Now, I was falsely arrested, DUI. I drove to Post 10. So they gave me
That's fucked up.
and they got me for court next year for that, from last year. Now, it was not the arresting officer's fault. The big, tall, the guy tried to escalate in the fight. The tall one I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame the arresting officer at all. He's doing the same thing any of us would do. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a gang, cop, military. You're going to back up your side because you don't know who someone is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They took advantage of the arresting officer, and that's what it was. No, the tall motherfucker showed up. He even had his fucking shirt unbuttoned. Red shirt under it. And I was like, really? You're on duty like this? And he had another short guy with him I call Stompy because he tried to stomp at me to get a reaction. I straight asked him, what are you afraid of? Now the escalator, I kind of like to call him that, the tall one. He said, "You want me to escalate?" Oh, escalate. Really? So I just sat there, and they began talking amongst themselves, like I wasn't there. I don't know, like Three Stooges, basically. Now there was one officer, fourth one. He knew to stay out of it. He looked familiar. Me and him shot the shit for a few minutes. They made me do a little walk and stuff and all that. And I even did a little bow at the end for them. He's like, it's not going to help your case. I'm like, this ain't my case. This is your case. I just came here to offer some help and give information.
What part of Oklahoma was it again?
Initially, it was Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And where I was with a family member, it was down towards McAllister.
McAllister.
Now, I had to go back to court in August in Tulsa.
This August?
No.
Oh,
This
okay.
is 2
Okay.
years ago.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
And so all that happened.
We're jumping around a little bit.
It's a lot to it. It is a lot. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
And
So.
she just says, Markella says the Tulsa cops don't play. What's up, Harlan County, Kentucky Transparency, Shine, everybody else?
Turns out North had been giving them information for something. So he was apparently setting people up there using the cops. Same thing they're doing now. But back to Thanksgiving last year. So the arresting officer, he took me in. And you know what? He did things by the book. I'm not slandering the arresting officer at all. Now, the escalating officer, yeah. Absolutely. Him and his little stompy buddy, whatever. Months later, I did call headquarters. I left a message. I called Post 10, Post 13, and maybe one other. And I let them know I was going to be out at the Veteran Memorial on 119. And if they still want to escalate it, I'll be out there for the next couple of hours. They never showed up. Since then, no problems. State police have been completely professional since then. But after that, really, when they took me to Everett's prison,
HCDC.
the arresting officer did. I want to commend him because he did things right. But the thing is, he was being set up to take the fall for what the other two was trying to put him up to. So basically, what it was is we talked. He listened. I was in the back of his vehicle. I was going off. I mean, I was being mentally assaulted. Didn't realize psychological warfare. The Veterans Association confirmed it.
I believe you. I understand
And,
it.
the fact that they were trying to set that officer up kind of made me more angry. But I ended up at Everett's prison, and they released me. And if you look at the temperature that night, it was pretty cold last year on Thanksgiving. And they had me outside for about 5 hours. I came inside maybe one time to warm up during that time, 5.5 hours.
Shit.
They said in order for me to come back in to warm up again, they'd have to throw a charge on me. It was that night. I couldn't go. And I actually tried walking out of there, but the dogs had the distance, and I didn't know the area. So I sat there, and they finally decided to call an ambulance after I was freezing to death, getting hypothermia. The ambulance showed up, and they had a recorder going when the overweight ambulance drivers recording me. And I was laughing my butt off at how I fucked everyone out of over $1 million. They want someone to kill women. I don't hit women. I've never even hit women.
Right.
No.
I feel
I don't
you.
hit women. I mean, I've had some women piss me off, but I've never gone to. You know what? If a woman doesn't want to be with me, that's fine. There's plenty of the road to talk to and learn.
Mm-hmm. They pussy all over behind you. And they pussy. They took the girl down there sharing tampons. I made him spit his pop out, huh? Two girls, one tampon on Larry Hoover. They washing their kids in washers and tricking them, thinking it's a goddamn jacuzzi and shit. For real.
After that, let's see. Came home. It's been wild, man. It's been so much happened.
Someone also said, Markella, she said, McAllister is a bad area with the prison there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've got fans from everywhere, and she is very investigative. Harlan County, Kentucky Transparency will talk. And if I give y'all a thumbs up, that means I'm reading the comments. If he's talking, I get back to the comment. So, what's up, James W.T., whoever you are? All right, so we're back to Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Sorry, what's up?
so that happened. I went to the hospital. They didn't admit me. They just let me warm up. And I don't know. I can't remember at the time. I think it was Harlem Community Action gave me a ride home.
CAA.
Don't quote me. It was someone helpful like that. Came back. Vehicle. Oh, jeez. I got video even. My vehicle. I'm bouncing back and forth again. So we're going back to Bowling Green about 2 months before I came up here, 2 or 3 months. My vehicle was hit by one of the R&L trucking vehicles on camera deliberately, and the driver drove. It was a hit and run basically. And certain families know around here, you know how it's scams. Certain people do scams.
Hell yeah, they do.
And basically that's what it was. And whoever's scamming them, they're also setting up the police to be scammed. That's a good lawsuit I could have on the state police.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'd rather have the people who started it be held liable.
Right.
Because
I feel you there.
I'm an idiot. I'll straight admit it. Money should be a priority on everyone's list, honestly. It really should be. Unfortunately.
Super chats are welcome. Cash App and PayPal. What's up, Samantha from Australia? I am not allowed to reveal his name out of respect. And, you know, I keep the sources quiet. So he just says his name's Jason.
Where was I?
We just got out of Thanksgiving.
Yep. A few more things. I realized the police were monitoring my texts and phones. I started a little joke saying I'm going to be a porn star with a neighbor I went to school with just to see what would happen. And sure enough, 3 ambulances turned on their lights and go by where I lived with them going and shut them off. A
Damn.
couple hours later. So I figured that out. They're monitoring phones and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And,
yeah.
The thing is, I was trying to figure out all the players involved and stuff. They go off coincidences. And that big thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
The saying.
I don't know what you're talking about. Certain stepmother, evil stepmother. Used to have us actually practice that. I didn't have nothing to be afraid of. I wasn't doing nothing wrong. So why am I having to sit there and practice? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Fire scams, stuff. Some of the things they learned about me when they had drugged me for information is that there's two types of people in this world. There are those that blame others for their problems, and there are those that take responsibility for their own actions. I've always been the one that takes responsibility for my own actions. But the thing is, they're proving it. They're literally doing it in front of everyone. And wordplay, I call it something else. And this is the thing. This is new to me. I spoke to a CID, Criminal Investigation Division with the military.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out this is kind of normal that this stuff happens. I tell you what, I was so stressed out. That kind of comforted me before getting hit. They do little sit-ups like that to look like accidents, suicides, so forth. Do little sit-ups like that to look like accidents, suicides, so forth. Phone was hacked, and they know who they are. But the thing is, they weren't the only ones. Found out people from deployment had been involved, and they were hacking and monitoring my activities online. For whatever reason, I don't know. I guess they didn't realize people already knew they were fuck-ups. So, but I even called last month. I did call Fort Benning, Georgia. Spoke to a drill instructor. Gave him a quick rundown and asked him to please focus on ethics and how to kill someone right the first time. I am not an 11 Bravo. I am a fueler.
What?
Fueler.
Fueler.
I was in the Cav, on active duty. Got 59th Quartermaster, was in that. Got out. Joined up with the National Guard. I'm not one of these. I tell you what, training's different. National Guard's totally different breed from regular Army. You know. And honestly, being with that unit, it's probably the biggest mistake of my life. Because it's all coming back from here. Everything that's going on is from Harlan County. All because I went and killed for certain individuals. Because I had found a better way to live.
Me too.
And I've never, I don't know. I've been a bouncer in Colorado. I bounced South Korea in Club 2 for about 2 months.
Hell yeah.
I've lived in different states all over the country. And, you know, how is it my hometown's this horrible? Well, with what I've been experiencing.
I know what he means in several ways. What's up, Tim? I know exactly what he means.
I'm not blaming everyone.
It's not everybody.
But the thing is, one person's actions can affect everyone's. But the thing is, they got more than one person in this. And it's affecting the county. And like you saw, the unit, they learned about everyone I knew. They learned about tactics, everything. Well, not everything. Whatever they got, I don't know. They didn't learn everything. They learned enough. They learned enough to shut it down.
Yeah. So, off subject, but on subject of what he's saying. What's up, Daniel? When we invaded Iraq in 2003 and it wiped them out real quick, they took these boys out here. My friend, shout out to Casey Stewart, I know Butch Wynn, all of them that was in the Army. They took the National Guard. John Luttrell took them boys right. I mean, they was the spearhead, and they was not. He was a badass.
He's still a badass.
I agree. I have nothing against
He's
you.
the one who inspired me to join the military.
John Luttrell's a bad motherfucker, but John thought that because he had issues at the time, addiction issues.
We all do. Oh,
right?
did he?
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, I'm not knocking him. He did. He was on oxys, and he shout out, John. I'm not saying nothing bad about you. I'm telling what I've been told by other veterans. He took them boys straight in because of his combat experience. He was leading. You know, he thought that they could go right in and bust heads, and they did, but they weren't qualified to be where they was at. I can't speak up much on it because I'm not educated military that much, but my friends has told me that was there.
Well, the thing is, Luttrell's mindset is what's needed
Mm-hmm.
to run a military.
Yes, sir.
And the thing is, I understand times change, and when times change, conformity, people will have to adapt. The unit out here wasn't like other units. Honestly, and you know what? I don't care. They can keep coming at me. It felt like kindergarten. They were holding hands, do everything. Like it was like Jesus fucking Christ. Like even just trying to do a count off on a bus took like 5 or 6 tries. And when I say count off, it's 1, 2. Each person says a number, so you know. Like, and I don't know. I'm not a genius. I'm not the smartest person in the room. Nothing like that. But like, I didn't realize they take anyone for here.
Yes.
And there are some good infantry out there. I've served with them, but and I'm not blaming them, all of them. They know who they are, and they know. Well, I'm getting pissed off. I gotta calm down soon.
You good? So Shy, I ran into this man. I was getting air in my tire, and this gentleman was pushing. I looked up, and this 90-year-old woman, approximately, her truck completely died right there at BP where the wreck was at. And I seen him push it, so I went into mayor mode. You know, I'm the mayor, and I started helping him push her truck. We pushed it down there, and we started talking, and I'm Crack 40 TV, and he's got a story. He's a military veteran, and he's been through some shit, and he wants to talk about it, and I showed him my platform, and I was like, well, come on, let's chomp it up. Hey, he went and got some proof. He told me to go get some proof and told me what to investigate, and I did. And I went and looked at it, and when he wants me to reveal it, I'll tell it.
And I'm gonna ask you to also go check out the other locations.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest to confirm. So
I will.
Now, you know what? I'm not gonna. I'm telling you what happened to me, what happened since then, so you have the truth.
Okay.
I'm telling you. But whatever they decide to come out with and say.
And by the way, before you go any further, Markella, Shy, everybody in my chat says thank you for your service. They're dropping that comment. Y'all want to drop it? I'll say it for you, but I know you all say it. But we thank all veterans. Love every veteran. Rest in peace, Mike Taylor. Aaron, no.
Oh, I caught this asshole throwing something in my vehicle in Middlesboro or activity. I'm going to show you his face right quick.
All right.
And I did. After months later, the state police did take the information.
I remember when he thumped Rex's, what was his name, Rex something? I remember when John Luttrell went in there and smoked him in the locker room. Don DeNoa was out there too, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember that? Luttrell and Rex something, they got into a fight in the Kaywood locker room in the late 90s. Luttrell went in there and beat the fuck out of him. And no way was I saying nothing bad about John Luttrell. Rex Parsons.
You don't fuck with Luttrell.
I'm telling you. He's, oh, yeah.
You don't fuck with Luttrell.
Or his son that's a cop. Justin will bust your motherfucking head.
He's
Played
a
ball
good
with
leader.
you. Yeah, he is. Justin was in football. I played ball with him. And that's why I say, if you fuck with Justin Luttrell out here in these streets, he'll hunt you down and tackle your ass, and that's the end of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was massive.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah.
John Luttrell is an intimidating person, and we need more football
But
coaches
he's not
like
just
that.
he is a kind. I'm not trying to just make him sound like he is a very, since my knowledge of him.
Right.
Growing
Me
up
too.
here and football.
Mm-hmm.
He, I tell you what, he worked it. He made sure you were able.
Yes, sir.
He made survivors.
Nothing but love for you, John Luttrell, and your family.
But man.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
Middlesboro.
just wanted, so a Middlesboro incident happened. I was inside. I was waiting my turn. And I looked out my window and a black car pulled up beside it. I wasn't worried about it. I thought Middlesboro was a pretty nice place.
Nah, that's cut.
And
that's crazy.
This was back in May. Now, this is the vehicle. That's the...
I see it.
Okay. He had gotten out, and I caught him opening up my vehicle, not this one, another one, the rear door, and throwing things in it, a bag and stuff. I don't know what it was, appeared to be drugs. I went out there, confronted him. He started shitting himself, and he tried saying he thought it was his daughter's vehicle. And right here, I'm going to show you. My vehicle is complete opposite color from this. That was his daughter's vehicle. So you see the purple.
I know that's.
And look
Is
at
that the
that's,
guy?
Yeah, that's the individual.
No, that's not Nellie Gilbert, but it looks like Nellie Gilbert and Ernie Shell mixed together on AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that vehicle looks familiar,
And,
but I'm sure
after
that
I
that's.
left there, they were up at Martins Fork Lake where I was heading to, and I caught some young buck
I'm telling you, I
trying to
know.
look like he was a
Gangster.
trying, but he had army on him, and I got tickled at him because he was trying to look at me like he's intimidating. I was like, "What are you gonna do, buddy?"
Right. Ain't nobody
I've been
gonna
through
whoop
all
this guy.
No, I mean, I've had my ass whooped. I'm not afraid to take an ass whoop. If someone wants to throw down, let's throw down or have fun, but don't be trying to do. There's no reason to.
Right.
I mean,
He ain't a killer, but don't push him.
I mean, you grew up like we said prior. Grew up with this.
We grew up with them. Tim tell you.
But
Yeah.
now, it's not what they do.
No, it's warrants.
And
Law
so
calling.
that's one thing. I did. State police are on that. Since then, I informed an officer, gave him that information. We're finally getting on it. I've also been in touch with Cyber Division. I'm going to show you another piece of evidence. Let this go here. I've got so much going on, and the thing is, I'm just now getting.
Getting back.
Thing is, they're literally screwing people from progressing.
Mm-hmm.
Every place I've ever lived, people try to build each other up. But for some reason here, people are doing the opposite.
They hate on
Not all,
here.
not all, but enough of them. And it shows.
See, they hate on me and call me a rat for doing this, for making a news report about the jail or exposing something. I'm a journalist. You know
There
what I'm
was two
saying?
people in that cell with
I
me.
am.
There were two people in the cell with me at Everett's.
Mm-hmm.
They listened. They knew I was like, fuck. Like,
Right. Legit.
and they listened. We talked BS. I apologize, I don't know their names. They listened, and even they were kind of surprised I was getting out at midnight. At night, no place to go, no phone, no way to call out to no one.
Yeah.
It's kind of obvious.
It sucks to
They
get
didn't
out.
even want me to take my cell phone with me.
Yeah. Happened to me.
But
I don't know you, Tip Bot.
ever since then, past few weeks, I was followed. I kept pissing them off because I kept pulling over, letting them know it.
I've been there.
They, I don't know what it is. They had some gunfire. People, I'm all for the Second Amendment, absolutely, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, it's hard to identify people that should have firearms and those that shouldn't.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
they were doing some shooting down the road there, and someone had a round, because you can tell when a round comes by you.
Mm-hmm.
Just gets closer. You can tell in the distance. And I just got done working out, like I told you where my workout was, and they had shot. That bullet went by, and I looked in the direction. I just sat down, like I'm too tired to run. What do you want? Here, I'm not moving.
And you can't run from the
Here's your
bullet
second
either.
shot. And I guess the thing is they were trying to intimidate, do stuff like that, and fear. And the saddest part about it is that some of these churches around here, not all, but enough of them. And growing up here, they learned this when they drugged me. They learned about certain churches that did bad things.
Well, David Davies and Ed Kaywood was child molesters, and they run the Methodist church on Larry Hoover. Y'all know I'm telling the truth.
Wait, where?
Methodist in Harlan back
Wait,
in the
you said
90s.
Kaywood?
Ed Kaywood. Old man that played the organ. Ed Kaywood. He used to buy boys IROCs and shit to fuck them back in the late 80s, early 90s. They say that I rode on an Ed Kaywood zipper or something. That was a little bit before you're a couple years older than me. That's a few years older than you. Probably like when that guy Fluffy was out there at GED sucking everybody's dick, giving them GEDs and vocational and shit.
Yeah.
About that time. Early 90s.
Well, the officer had
Jack
told me-
Rice and them getting blowjob. Brian Saylor.
Well, the individual I told you that informed me about May 22nd last year, he did give me a heads up. They are trying to make people look like pedophiles. And I've noticed certain things. He had told me. He gave me a heads up, so that's how I knew when they were coming. And
So if they tried to set you up with
basically,
anything like
they
that.
they got leaks. They were letting their egos out.
Mm.
And someone, I don't know who that person is. Like I said, he claimed he was an officer. I don't know. But I was in a bad mood at the time when he came up. I thought maybe we were just going to throw down. And he just let me know this is what's been going on. You're not crazy. Because after 2 years of this shit, he told me just keep doing what you're doing. And I did.
Keep doing it. Yes, college is worth it.
After that, there's been so much, man.
Well-
past few weeks, honestly, they backed off about a month ago after I just called them out for trying to be Afghan fighter wannabes.
Afghan wannabe fighter wannabes.
I mean, why not? They took out the National Guard, targeted civilians, veterans. No
So,
better way to describe them.
speaking of the National Guard, this is what he wanted me to investigate, and I will finish investigating because I give you my word, and I'll be going that way anyway. This guy tells me go to the National Guard, take a video, and he did.
He's speeding.
Yep, and there is the National Guard's completely shut down. There's no vehicles. There's nothing.
Recruiting now. They're trying to start up, which I'm glad.
There's nothing. He told me to go out there and do that if I wanted to do an interview with him to prove that. And there's nothing out there you can't. I was going to go in and ask questions. He told me to, and there was nobody to go. I was even going to text him while I was in there and get the questions. Nobody's at the National Guard. There's nothing out there.
And it's coincidence that this happened since this
Right.
happened.
Let me tell you something else. My buddy is a YouTuber in here, Harlan County, Kentucky Transparency. I hope he's wrong because I support our sheriff's department, but he says that he is fixing to get or has evidence on a cop planting dope on somebody. He put it in the comments. Yeah, it was fucking a while back in the comments, closer to the beginning of the stream. But that's exactly what he said right through here. I'll go back and find it. There's the top. So, I mean, I hope that he is completely nothing against him because he is a lifelong friend of mine. But I am getting reports of a county cop planting dope on people. And he gets pretty legit shit. You can look him up and subscribe to him if you want to. He's kind of like a auditor, tyrant type.
Okay.
In a way, and he knows his shit. Stop Smoking Dino. What's up, Stop Smoking Dino? This is Crack 40 TV. I'm doing an interview with a U.S. Army veteran. We're in Harlan County, Kentucky. I'm the mayor of the streets, King of Appalachia, and this is Crack 40 TV, Harlan County, Kentucky. Sub up, please. Thank you.
I think auditors are needed, actual good ones. But
Yes.
the thing is, you got some out there that are just
Mm-hmm.
trying to get attention, and they
Right.
make they cause more trouble than they should. But there are good ones out there. And
Shout out Joe Cole, NC Tyrant Hunters, my peoples.
And with the auditors,
They're my subs, and I'm their
and
subs.
the auditors have the same problem the police does. They're doing their job or what they want, but there's always those that make it look bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a few that I wouldn't mention. Oh, Chuck Bronson, you ever seen him?
No, sir.
Okay, he's huge. Whoever Stop Smoking Dino is pretty huge because they come in with a check mark on their name. So we've got a pretty popular YouTuber in here. Subscribe, hang out. I never stop streaming. You're from Moldova. Okay. I'm going to be streaming about the murder of the sheriff smoking down the judge. I'm covering that. I'm covering Shelby Shell. Going to try to see if Shelby Shell is guilty or not guilty. I'm going to be investigating that. You're going to see a lot more investigations than field trips and interviews like here shortly. I'm going to show you how a journalist does it. So, back to you.
If you don't mind to go off topic just for a
Oh,
second.
whatever you want.
Well, we discussed it earlier, and I feel bad for loss of life. The judge that was killed by, I believe it was a deputy 2 months ago.
It's Sheriff Mickey Steins, unalived Judge Kevin Mullins. And my friend Michael Clark, the preacher, was right there.
And,
Yeah, and they're roasting him, and that's another thing I'm coming after.
now, I'm not sure, but
You're fine, Dino.
apparently, no. From what I saw in the news, apparently, the deputy was using sexual advantage.
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
Deputy Ben Fields 2 years ago and prior to 2 years and in the past and going in the past, he was over the ankle bracelets, you know what I mean? And he was keeping them girls on ankle monitors. If they didn't have enough money to pay for it, they suck his dick, they fuck him, but he started blackmailing them to do it and making them Like, come down here and show me what that mouth do, or you're gonna go to jail. And one of the girls is dead now. That's in the federal lawsuit.
What a coincidence.
Yes, exactly. Hot shot, hot shot. Everybody I spoke to over there says she got killed by a hot shot, and they had her killed. So Ned Pillersdorf, shout out to one of the biggest attorneys in the Eastern Kentucky. It was the girls he's suing for him, and the sheriff, had to go to the deposition the Monday before the shooting, and he was losing his mind. I do not think he was fucking the daughter of the judge. The judge was not fucking his daughter, I don't think now, because I'm investigating it. But you never know. It will come out shortly. I don't know nothing about Moldova, to be honest with you. Stop smoking. But yeah, I was over there 48 hours ago. That's where I was at. Yes, I was over there. I was trying to I talked to Michael Clark, the preacher that was in the mix of it, twice, and I told him I'm going to go ride or die for him. And if he is innocent and he's not a child molester, and I know he ain't, then I'm going to defend him.
And we also had that incident in London.
Joseph Couch, the shooter, and let me tell you,
that made no sense.
I know. I learned to ride a four-wheeler. I learned to drive a stick shift there in '99. Right there where you could ride back in Cromer's Ridge. I know that area, so yes, fuck yeah. My grandfather, these kids right over here, was in the bus coming back, and got stopped during the shooting. They was right there. All the 18-wheelers made a moat around them, blocked them off. So if they had to shoot, dude shot, he had to shoot through the truck, and it's kept the kids safe. Yeah, and my grandfather, several people was rerouted. A woman from somewhere right over here was one of the from Harlan somewhere. She got shot, and her purse strap is what saved it from going on through. Yes, about 2,000 rounds of ammunition that morning.
2,000, goddamn.
Now, why is that? I mean, like, I understand you can sell 2,000 rounds, but that should be an alert. But luckily, nobody passed away, and I should have been there covering that, but other circumstances prevented me from being the first YouTuber there doing what, if you ever watch JLR Investigates, Agenda Free,
I'll look that up after
Hatfield and McCoy's YouTube, they're the ones that found the body. The police got the search off pretty much, and they kept following the Hawks, buzzards, and they followed them. They found him making his eyes out and shit.
Yeah. They trying to do it?
Yeah, they found him dead.
Oh, I know that. I didn't know.
But yeah, the YouTubers found him because of the buzzards, and they got the reward.
No shit. That's.
Yes, sir.
That never made sense though. Like, he got out of jail, got a firearm immediately. Well, from what I know, and texted, I believe it was his wife, that he was about to kill people.
Yeah, and threatening to kill his family. So maybe his brother's sister-in-law or whatever. His brother's wife was the one that called in and said that.
And just took off into the woods like that. Like, this was, it made no freaking sense whatsoever.
Where he did it makes sense, though, if you know the area. Fuck yeah, it would be like if you know how to get right there. I mean, that's literally where he was at, but on the side of 75, just hanging right off the cliff right there. Just blah, blah, blah.
And then just went running into the woods. And
I'm glad he bitched out and just used one clip. He did it himself.
He killed himself?
I was told, I've heard, I don't know how true it is, that he was basically running and fell, snapped his leg, and went ahead and did it, but he was planning to do it anyway, I believe. But I believe he could have got away.
Was that many weeks? So they spent, what, 2
Took about 2 weeks. It took about 2 weeks to find him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot going on in Eastern Kentucky. It's rising.
Yeah. There is. And if I can open it up and I can do it the right way, I'm doing it. I'll bust it wide open, whatever y'all got. If it's legit, you got receipts, I'll bust the shit bag wide open. But so
the thing is, I'll say this. We're going to go back prior to deployment. And we're going to talk about Michael North and me and some other troops. And I thought about it. What would drive someone to do something like this, what he did, right? Now, he had done it to a woman named Sarah before I'd arrived to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So he had this down to a routine. And so they know how to manipulate the cops, and they know how to... So, and I thought back about it, and I was thinking, maybe he's upset over a joke. No, I mean, I was speculating on why. And before deployment, we all got jokes. We all got military banter. We
Right.
haggle on each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're supposed to be there for each other, but like
Reckon on each other.
he, me and a NCO standing there, and he came up and he just had to share a story of a date he went on, Michael, and it wasn't bad. It's 2024 now. It's not how we grew up, you know. Growing up here, you know, being gay or lesbian is a bad thing. I'm straight.
You're right. It was.
And, you know, well, North was telling us about it. Me and the NCO giggle. Like, okay. And then it turned out the date was a male. Didn't really know it. It was, and
Probably Hillary.
he was kind of humiliated about it. He said, "You guys got to promise me you won't say nothing." And the NCO was like, "I promise not to say nothing." I said, "See, he promises not to say nothing." So I went and told some other people.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
You know, this is the thing. I was always about morale, like keeping people's spirits up no matter what. Like, no matter, I mean, what's the worst they're going to do? Send you to war? You know. And Michael even laughed when he found out that other people do it. They automatically knew it was me. Because, you know, I was joking. Didn't get along with everyone. Not everyone gets along with everyone. You get some that are just not up to date. I'll put it that way with things. I'll put it that way. And it was pretty funny. And I thought maybe that might have been the reason. But then I realized I actually had family involved for pettiness. It was honestly just pure pettiness. They even wrote me out the will after Dad died. I was fine with it as long as they left me alone. I mean, I went to go see him. I got to see him one time. He's dying of cancer.
It's sad.
You know, some people just don't know how to open a door. They can't hear someone knocking. I don't know. I came back about 3 to 4 times after that. Never got to see him. On his deathbed, I didn't go. They didn't want me there. I got the message. So after 3 times, you kind of get the message. Considering this was pretty much how life went in the family. I was always not the one to be there. It's what it is.
There's one in every family,
It's
whether you want to be that
no
one or
family's
not.
perfect.
I'm the one in my family. What's up, Mickey?
And you know what? Apparently they had an issue because one of the things is before they OD'd me and tried to kill me, they learned to live in peace without them.
I know where you're at.
And past 2.5 years, look where I'm at now. And everything's been going on. So other than that, there's been so many things happen. I know the thing is they learned they can manipulate church people because they think they're doing God's work, but they're not. Because they learned all sorts of stuff from me, and they figured, I guess, they just go with it. That's pretty much what they've been doing. But Michael North and his family, along with others in this community, and no, I don't know all the players involved, but they are being identified. And I believe that's why it's backed off so much in the past month and a half. And
I seen Michael North during the Aurora Bora, or the 4th of July, on the bypass in front of Taco Bell, doing mayor walk, as they call it, walking, and he got out of a car at the bridge at Taco Bell. It was all fucking weird.
here in Harlan?
Yes.
When was this?
I think it's the 4th of July, the night my dad was in the hospital.
So he's in Harlan County? I thought he was still in Tulsa.
Fuck, no, that's my first around here.
The same Michael. Wait.
You're going to have to show me a picture of him, to make sure we're not
someone else
talking about.
thought I was talking about Michael North, and I showed him the picture.
Because the Michael North, he got out all weird at the bridge. I'm pretty sure it's the night my dad went to the hospital. He got out to the Taco Bell bridge, and I thought, motherfucker, somebody about to square at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was get ready to fight, just to defend myself. And not the same Michael North.
Okay.
No.
See, this is why.
Sorry, Michael North, my Michael North.
No, this is the Michael, and I'm not afraid to show him. This
Never
is the one.
seen him before in my life.
He's from here in Kaywood. His mother's Betty Reed Brown. They're the ones involved in this.
I'll see what I can find out.
If that's him.
I'll
He's
see
the
what I
one
can
that was
find
in
out.
the unit with me.
It's not my Michael.
He did not make deployment. Apparently he had a grudge on that. I figured, like when I got out there, I started realizing he had.
I got you.
He's gone completely off the rails doing this stuff.
See, I was really kind of, I'll be honest with you.
I think it was a trap house. I think that's what it was. They were turning that place into, and I've
Could
never
be.
been in one. I've never been in one. I'm not.
I have. I ran on it.
And
Yeah, it's not Freddie Marlowe's brother, Michael North.
like, no, it's. But now you know. If you want, I'll send you his picture after. So
Yeah, I
it's
see
not,
what I
I'm
can-
not. No,
Because this will be a to be continued episode right here. Because I am going to figure out what I can figure out for you.
yes, sir.
And I have to go meet somebody at 3 o'clock. So we got 30 minutes. What else
Tell
you
you
got?
what, let's go ahead and end it now. It's been great talking with you, and we can do this again some other time. Thank you for listening and understanding what I'm telling you, and I'm asking you to research it yourself so you know I'm not filling you full of
Believe
shit.
me, they'll research it.
And
I will and they will.
I got other stuff. Like I said, it's over 2.5 years has been going on. I don't know. Like whatever they drug me with, it's honestly, maybe you can talk to me afterwards when we're done here. Whatever they drug me with has disconnected me in some ways. I'll put it that way. But thank you for listening, and I will get with you again.
Yeah, we'll be linking up. As soon as we're done, we're gonna link up. We've done exchanged info. So this is Crack 40 TV. Everybody wants to again thank every U.S. veteran, everybody in the service right now. We support all military. We love you guys. And Iceman's got coupons, half price for oral gel for the butthole. It's Crack 40. I'll be back here in just a few minutes with something else going on. Stay woke. Goodbye, guys. Be back in a minute.